as a very similar drum intro to the song Jungle Japes from Donkey Kong.
Oh, Jungle Japes from Donkey.
Yeah, that Jungle Japes.
Maybe it was maybe Rihanna's producers were straight up chocolate.
I mean, I'd be a little happy. I don't think Nintendo would be happy. They're a little strict on their properties, but I'd like it.
Surprised they haven't sued her yet.
It's not that similar. Like, it's got a different tempo, but it's just that straight drum beat. Very similar. I highly recommend. Check it out. Or I can always link it if you want it, if you're interested.
What were the two songs again?
Let's see, Jungle Japes and Pond to Replay. But if you want the remix, it has to be Hey Mr. DK.
On YouTube?
On YouTube. And I can just send it in the chat.
I always wonder how you find these random songs on YouTube.
It's more that I have a thought of like, that sounds like this song. I look it up and I'm like, yes, somebody else made something. Or I'm completely wrong, and I have to think, if only it was made.
If only.
The Woodpecker Cries.
There
Name
we go, there
that
I am.
movie and book.
I feel like it's a common one. I feel like it's a popular one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's right off the top of my head right now. I can't.
Joe, you want to
Can-
throw? Go ahead.
I
Do
can't
what?
think of it.
You want to throw your hand in the guessing game here?
Oh, heavens no. Where the red fern grows.
No,
Yeah, I thought not.
it's in Holes.
Oh gosh darn it, you're right, it is. And then he howls at the moon. We're
Yeah.
reading that in class right now. Oh, I'm such a bad teacher.
Holes classic book.
It's a great
thought-
book, although the movie's better.
No, 100%. I completely disagree. The book is way better than the movie.
Usually that's true, but that and Princess Bride are the only two books where I think the movie did a much better job.
See, I haven't read
Oh, go ahead.
I haven't read the Princess Bride book.
You would not like it. The book is not for everybody.
Yeah, there's that, and then also they just had such a fantastic crew for Princess Bride, the movie, that you can't compete with it.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest gripe with Holes movie versus the book is they just skipped out on all of Stanley's grandpa's like backstory. Like they didn't cover any of his backstory in the movie. They just glossed over it like it didn't exist.
They don't really cover. Oh, you mean carrying the pig up the mountain? That the great 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 grandpa,
Yeah.
not the great 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 grandpa.
Whatever. Yes. Yes.
The good for nothing
Or
pig stealing
grandparent.
grandpa.
Yes, that. They didn't cover his story at all.
True,
And,
they
like, why they're cursed and like the reasoning why they're cursed and all that. It's just in the movie they're cursed and that's the only thing they've ever known.
I mean, they still cover it, but it's more of a 5-minute scene versus the book. It's several chapters. Actually, it's
Yeah.
only like one chapter, but
He still paints a really good picture in that one chapter.
yeah. I'm not discrediting the book. I'm just saying, it's a lot more. They consolidate it very well, and also I like some of the sequence that they break in there, such as the reason why in the movie, Stanley gets the nickname, the Caveman, is because he finds the fossil, and then they start calling him the Caveman because he's also big and imposing. In the book, it's reversed. They start calling him Caveman first, and then he finds the fossil. And it's like I like that touch better, where it's finds the fossil, then he gets the nickname Caveman. And it's also because he's big and imposing, which in the book he's actually big and imposing.
Right. In the movie he's not.
Right. I mean, that's still fair because in the book he's supposed to be super fat, and then after working out, or not working out, but digging holes, he becomes skinnier and buff and more calloused. But the problem is you can't really do that to a kid in real life. That's not good to do that to him on a movie set. Just
Yeah,
make a
that's called
4D kid.
abuse.
Yeah, making a kid lose a bunch of weight. Yeah. Digging digging.
And the music,
Digging
holes?
holes.
Classic Disney right there. Well, not classic,
Yeah,
but
I'm more of a fan of heavyweights.
Never seen
The
that
movie. Oh, you've never seen Heavyweights?
I've
Oh,
I never even heard of that.
oh, it's hilarious. You guys go. Yeah, it's so funny, and it's a class. Like it's literally this group. So the whole plot of the story is there are a bunch of these kids who got sent to. They were fat. And they get sent to fat
one.
camp to try to lose weight. Well, this fat camp is not. They're not losing weight. They're just eating even more and just getting fatter. So eventually, the big plot twist in the movie is this guy or the original owners were like this old couple. They end up, I don't know if they sell the camp to Tony Perkins, who's Ben Stiller, and he's like this really ripped guy who's like trying to turn it all over to get everybody to lose weight, and he's like just a dick the whole time, but it's freaking hilarious.
So it's kind of the opposite of dodgeball.
Well, Ben Stiller got his idea of Dwight Goodman. Not Dwight Goodman. What's the Ben Stiller's guy's name in Dodgeball? Not Tony Perkins. Tony Perkins is Heavyweights. Anyway, he's literally took his idea of a bad guy from Dodgeball from Heavyweights. That was his inspiration. So like if you've seen Dodgeball and you want to know why he's the way he is, you watch Heavyweights, and it's freaking hilarious.
Is Heavyweights a Disney original or is it just a good
Yes.
movie? Oh,
It's a Disney movie.
I was gonna say I put that on my list. That sounds like an excellent. Like Disney Channel has such a weird magic to it. Those original Disney Channel movies. It's weird.
White Goodman.
White Goodman? Oh, White Goodman.
His character in Dodgeball's White Goodman.
Feeling skinny, Tony. Feeling skinny. Lunch has been canceled due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
Good movie. Let's see. Is this episode 28?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
so. Right around there. Well, first off, I do want to apologize to our listeners for yesterday because I am going to be literally editing this and getting it up as soon as I can. We ran out of recordings, and so we had to sit down and get some more done. So there was no recording today as of the day of recording, or yesterday for the day of release. So sorry about that. Hopefully we can stay on top of it, but lots of changing things still going on around here. So
We can just say it's the holiday season. We took a break for the holiday season. All of us went to Cuba. We got some of that pure Colombian. Smoked some of them cigars. It was a good time. Now we're back in the States.
But Joe, that would be a lie, and we're the Catholic gamers. We try not to do that as much, you know.
Let's not create
As
scandal
much.
here, Joe.
Yeah,
As
we'll
much
do
as
that
we've
somewhere
probably
else.
done in the past.
I mean, I do have a Twitter/X account for the channel, so we can create scandal there, right? That's morally okay.
It's owned by Elon Musk. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. X lets us do anything we want.
It's true. No fact checkers anymore. It's all good.
There you go. Same with Facebook. There seems something like going on.
True.
All right. So, well, tonight we're going to be talking about a game that we have all played together, Left 4 Dead 2. So, but before we start that, let's jump into the actual intro. Welcome to Those Catholic Gamers, a podcast where Catholic guys come together to talk about video games and their Catholic faith. I am James, your host, and today I am joined by Connor.
See if McQueen can make purrs into the mic. Can you hear it?
No.
McQueen's purring into the mic, my cat.
Okay.
Guys, we've got a cam on Connor. He has no cat. He's purring into the mic. Don't listen to him.
Quit licking the microphone.
Connor, get those cat ears off. Connor's cat ear headphones.
My cat ear headphones.
And Joe.
Hey guys, how's it going? Purr, purr. Connor, knock it off.
Classic.
It's like halfway through the episode that's going to happen again. All right,
Editor,
so
edit all that out.
oh,
Get that out of here.
so Left 4 Dead 2 is a 2009 first-person shooter, co-op-esque survival horror game. It was developed and published by our Lord and Savior Valve.
All hail the
Bad boy
king.
Valve. Bad boy Valve.
Bad boy
Gabe
Valve
Newell.
there. Gabe Newell. And so, Left 4 Dead 2 follows the survivors of a zombie apocalypse after their escape during the first game, Left 4 Dead. You control one of the characters and you try to survive and reach the end of each level. Through the level, you run into specific types of zombies, and through the help of your either AI or actual real players, you team up to finish the quest or finish the level and survive to fight another day. A disclaimer, we do play on PC. This game did come out for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and I'm pretty sure it was PlayStation as well.
The original PlayStation.
PlayStation 3.
Oh, PlayStation 3. I don't
Yeah.
remember them announcing for play. Maybe I think you're right.
Yeah. Or it could have been a kind of an Xbox exclusive, but it did come out for Windows. You are now able to play it on Windows and Linux. And we're reviewing it from that standpoint. We play on Windows and Linux. And then, of course, before we start into further discussion, we are trying to grow our audience. So please follow, like, subscribe, leave a review, send us an email. Let your friends and family know that this podcast exists. We'd be happy to continue to grow this podcast. Thank you.
Send out a smoke signal, letting people know.
Yeah. Seismic waves through the mantle of the earth.
Don't start a fire. Just send out smoke signals.
Yeah.
There's enough fires in California.
I was gonna say, yeah, Los Angeles.
Too
I'll
soon?
kind of date this podcast.
I don't
You
know.
probably will.
That I recently heard on the radio today. Yes, I still listen to the radio. What was it? It's the largest natural disaster within modern history.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. So.
Definitely in terms of like where it was and how much damage it's causing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, what was the fire? Was it 19? What was it?
Chicago fire?
No, well, there was Chicago. There's lots of fires in a lot of cities.
Yeah.
It was.
I think you're so San Francisco was I think had a fire, and they also had a huge earthquake hit during the early
same time.
during the 1900s. I think it was
1906.
It was they had an earthquake and then there was a fire on top of it or something like that.
Yep.
So,
1906. There was an earthquake and then the fire afterwards, destroying thousands of buildings. Was it 7.9? And then there was upwards of 3,000 people died.
Yeah. So.
Well,
Well, yeah.
That's
No.
not technically that's pre-modern, so we're technically in postmodern now.
Whatever that term means. Depends on
when
depends
modern
on-
happened.
Yeah. Like.
So when am I going to be in a post neo modern?
Yeah, exactly. When are we going to become neo-modernists or neoclassicists or whatever? So
Uber neo super modernists.
When
Yeah.
Elon Musk develops a self-driving car, that's when it happens.
so never.
Exactly.
An actual true self-driving car. All right. So, before we dive into the actual story, gameplay, AI, graphics, all that jazz, this game came out when we were teenagers. So,
Oh yeah.
Well, when me and James were teenagers.
I was a wee Babis. These two old men, they're old.
well, Joe, you were
Joe-
what, 98?
Joe's a tween.
1996.
Yeah, so you were 13.
Yeah, I play with my cousins.
You were. So anyway, so this game came out during our formidable teenage years. What was your experience with this game? Did you play this game growing up? Did you know about this game? Let's hear some of the stories.
I did not play it as a kid or as a teenager. I didn't start playing it until my Payday 2 friends. They kind of started playing it, and they're like, it was free at the time. I think it still is free. I don't remember, but I
I'll
got it
check
for
for you.
free, and we started playing. And one of the guys who was really, 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 really good at Payday 2 was really, 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 really good at Left 4 Dead 2, and he basically has every single map memorized. So he would dominate the whole thing for us. But I kind of into it from that, and then I started playing with Joe a little bit. It was one of those times where we kind of just started playing in college during our games time, and yeah, that was kind of my experience with it. And then I've played it on and off here and then. It just depends on what kind of mood we're in. We'll pick it up and just be like, hey, you want to play Payday 2? Or not Payday, Left 4 Dead 2? And we'll be like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then we'll download a bunch of mods for it and completely changes the game. I think it's a lot better now because of mods than this basic game, but we could talk about that later. But
Fair enough,
yeah,
Joe.
I had some friends, actually my cousins. I think I talked about this previously, where we had a game Wednesday where every Wednesday night we'd play games, and they're actually still doing that. I don't really do it too much anymore because just grew apart. Still talk with them and all that stuff. It's all good. And they played it, and it was a lot of fun. Don't really remember it too much because they didn't really mod it. It wasn't until Connor and I started playing it that it really took off with a lot of those mods, and that made it a heck of a lot more fun. I don't think I've played through all the base maps. We started playing through more of the modded ones, and it's fun to go and shoot Teletubbies in the Mushroom Kingdom. But yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Teletubbies.
Oh, the mods. Yes, we will get to that. So
propane accessories.
Get out of my swamp.
So I remember.
James, how about yourself?
Yeah. Let's see here. So as previously discussed on other podcasts, I was rather sensitive to horror. So I was aware of this game, but even like the cover art, which at the time was very controversial, especially for 2. Because if you look up the original artwork for it, it's actually a hand missing 3 fingers. So it's physically holding up 2. And that was so graphic that they had to... Yeah. It was so graphic that they had to give back the stop distracting me, the ring finger and the pinky, and just take away the thumb for the zombie. The first time I really was aware of the game was I used to take the public bus to Lincoln High in Sioux Falls, and that got to be just a pain and semi-problematic for other reasons. And one of the guys who went to school, and we're in the same grade, we actually went to the same middle school, he would get a ride from his mom, and so I just kind of was fed up with the bus, and so I actually went and knocked on their door. Didn't really know the guy that well, and I said, "Hey, can I just get a ride to school?" And they said that's fine. But I remember going into their house one day, and he was really into computers. He actually had like completely reworked his desktop to have different like subcategories of files, and he did the whole what was it, rain meter kind of thing. Before that was really cool. And in the very middle of it, his wallpaper was the Left 4 Dead symbol. So that was kind of my first exposure to that.
Nice.
College guys were playing that. That was really the first time I actually sat down and played it. But I never actually sat down and played it with people until you guys started playing that off and on. And so we jump on every now and then and play that. So yeah, that's my story and exposure of Left 4 Dead 2.
Nice. I mean, you can play it by yourself, but Left 4 Dead's so much more fun when you play with people.
Definitely a group game.
Well,
Like Borderlands 2.
Well, I mean, most of these like first-person shooter / co-op games, I mean, their main focus is co-op, right?
Yeah.
So
Obviously, it's in the name.
yeah, and so you're always going to have a better time with co-op, depending upon how you're able to get through a level. I personally think with Left 4 Dead clones and the Left 4 Dead games. And we can dive into this a little bit later. You have to play with other people because the AI, while is good on the enemy side, sucks on the ally side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean they do basically the only thing they're good for is making sure if you ever get knocked down by a hunter or by a special or something. They're good at like getting you free really fast, but that's about it.
Yeah. Oh, and then half the time you're saving them, right? They can't even like defend themselves. They're always getting downed or dying on you, and it's a giant pain. But actually, we can just dive into AI. We can just because AI was kind of the big selling point for the Left 4 Dead games, right? Because before this, you didn't have this dynamic AI generator that was making the game either harder or easier depending upon how you were doing. Unless you guys can think of another game.
James, there's a lot of games that have difficulty settings.
Yeah, but not a one that varies upon how you're doing during the game.
Does this game have that? I don't think Left 4 Dead has that.
Yeah, that's
there's
the whole
like
point.
Easy, medium, and expert. Or was it? Yeah, because there's actual difficulties in the game. I don't think the difficulty scales, does it?
It does scale. So if you're actually doing really, really bad, you're not going to have as many hordes. You're not going to be thrown as many of the special enemies. And that was the big selling point for this game. That was kind of like its big on the gameplay side. Like here's a new innovative thing. It's called an AI.
Difficulty scaling?
No. AI director. So what was it? From the wiki article. As in the first game, an artificial intelligence system called the AI Director drives gameplay by procedurally spawning enemies, weapons, and items based on the player's performance during the given campaign. In Left 4 Dead 2, the Director has been improved to encourage more participation by players, forcing players through difficult gauntlets to reach safety. It also has the ability to alter elements of the level, such as placement of walls, level layout, lighting, and weather conditions, making each player session unique.
Huh.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's procedurally generated in the sense where the way that enemies spawn is varied and stuff. But I mean, it's very linear, and where you go from point A to point B, like that doesn't change.
No, that doesn't change. But the actual like difficulty, and then like in the sense of how many enemies you're being thrown at, is all dependent upon how the AI system sees how you're doing.
I honestly couldn't even tell because I mean, yes, like hordes really do happen a lot, but I think hordes mostly happen because of boomers, don't they?
No.
Or I don't think I've ever seen in the second game that there's been a horde outside of a boomer or outside of a noisy event. Like
when I played by myself, I've noticed that sometimes the hordes will just be generated out of nowhere.
That's happened to us a couple times, Connor.
Has it? Okay, maybe I'm thinking differently then.
Yeah. So, but what I'm trying to say is these two games are kind of the first real um, kind of test points for this kind of thing, and then from there you have games that will play on it further. So you have the Vermintide series, which is essentially Left 4 Dead but in Warhammer, and then you also have the different uses of AI in different games like Alien Isolation, where the actual alien creature reacts differently to what you're doing in the game.
Right. It quasi predicts where you're going and how you're doing things. I mean, you could say Payday 2 is the same, right? Where it isn't like necessarily adapt to what you're doing, but it gives you different like difficult or different enemies to fight.
Joe, any thoughts?
I've definitely noticed the AI affecting how I guess it's so integrated well that I don't really notice it, but it always seems hard. You know, it never seems easy. Same thing with Vermintide. It never felt easy. It always felt like there's a challenge. Sometimes a little too challenging when I'm playing by myself, but it always felt like it was the right difficulty. So I guess that was the AI at work doing its stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with Joe that I wouldn't say the biggest thing I noticed this game is the horde system and like how it affects and like crescendos into different things. My biggest notice was the special enemies and how different each one of them are, and how they really do make like the horde. Yes, is a thing, but the horde is not in itself going to kill you. The specials are. The specials are the ones that make the game difficult.
Oh yeah, especially if those combos going where you get tied up by a smoker, then a boomer goes off, or a jockey steers you off a cliff or into the horde.
Yeah, or a hunter comes out like you're running ahead and a hunter
yeah.
jumps on you.
Or you're lagging behind and a smoker gets you.
All right, game or midwave gameplay. Can you name off all of the 8
Specials?
different specials?
I bet I can. Joe goes so. I bet Joe can't.
I can definitely try. I can definitely describe all of them, but I couldn't name them probably by their actual names.
Patrick Star.
yeah.
SpongeBob.
The ogre known as Shrek. The one that runs down and goes, "It's John Cena."
Not the AI, not the AI, not the modded creatures, guys. Come on.
We got it.
Tank, Charger, Smoker, Witch, Jockey, Boomer.
Okay.
Boomer, yep.
Did I miss any? I'm
That's
not
6.
counting. It's 6. I'm missing 1.
You're missing 2.
2. The normal enemy.
No.
No. Say Hunter.
I did say Hunter. I thought I said Hunter.
Okay. Now you're missing 1.
Okay. The problem is all that's going through my head is all the modified ones, which mine are currently all Donkey Kong monkeys. So my jockey is Diddy Kong. The tank. I forgot about the tank.
You mentioned already Tank. You already mentioned
No. Oh, Spitter.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
Spitter was my favorite to play as special. I really liked playing as the Spitter.
My Spitter's Waluigi.
I don't even remember what mine is.
Gracious. All right. So out of all of those 8, which were the 3 ones that were added to Left 4 Dead 2?
Oh,
Connor.
the witch.
No.
Tank.
No.
Oh, for sure the jockey.
Yes.
Smoker?
No.
Oh.
The boomer.
No.
Okay, well that has to be the hunter and the charger then.
No, you got Charger. The Spitter
Charger, Jockey, and Spitter.
are the 3 that were added
Okay.
as the new special infected to the game.
Okay. Just trying to think how that would work without those 3. I mean, the Jockey's kind of whatever. I feel like the Jockey and the Hunter are very similar.
Yeah.
But without, I mean, the Charger kind of does feel kind of forced, I guess. But I really like the Spitter. I like playing as a Spitter, which is part of one of the game types.
Well, that feels like the Charger and the Jockey were made more for the game mode where you're the versus one. Like those are definitely like as a player, I can launch at a key moment and really mess up a whole entire player's game.
Right. Well, like the Spitter was nice because it create a wall almost. So like if there was a choke point coming up, you'd put a Spitter down, and that way you could either wait for the rest of the specials to spawn and set up, or you could it was basically just designed to be a wall to prevent the survivors from going forward. You can actually do a lot of damage to them as well. But yeah, I like being the Spitter. Did you have a favorite to play as there, Joe?
Let's see.
Other than
I'd say I like the Jockey just because it was really annoying for everybody who was playing that, or the Choker. Choker was good too.
Smoker.
Oh, sorry, Smoker. Smoker, Choker, all same thing. Who was my Smoker?
Mine was the what's the stick figure? The Slenderman.
Oh, Slenderman. Yep, mine was Slenderman. That's a good one.
Because at one point we had to get the same person because you kept calling out your actual modded character, and I had no idea what you were talking about. So we had to consolidate. And
It's Shrek. It's Shrek.
I'm like,
what
what
do you
is
mean?
Shrek?
Somebody wants.
Oh goodness
James,
gracious!
did you ever play Versus?
I did not play Versus. So I remember watching. Well, no. So I do remember playing Versus in college, but I really had never played before. So that went about as good as you can imagine.
Yeah, if you've never played the original as the Survivors, playing,
or if you just don't even like know what the 5/8 specials are, and what they do, right? It's not, yeah.
Defeats the
play
point.
then with the specials. It's fun.
You have to find some other people that have the game and do
What about
it. Then.
Andrew? Or do we need 4? I guess we would need 5 people total.
Ideally, we would have 8.
Yeah, 4v4.
It'd be 4v4.
Oh, that many specials on the board though would be so unfair.
There's always 4 though. There's always 4 specials on the map. Yeah.
Oh.
And then as you kill them, they spawn and like they trickle in and stuff. There's always 4. I know that for sure.
So technically, you could outrun all of the specials if you had like a really fast team.
Correct.
But
and
if the team gets separated, then you're just screwed.
Correct. But as long as one person makes it, then you're good to go.
True.
But the nice thing about Versus though too is if say one team wins or like the zombies win, the other team basically is forced to be into the next. Like it hand fists you in. You just don't. It goes off a point system with the Versus. So you're always trying to score as many points as possible.
And I'm not as much based on the points. It's just fun being the monster and
100%
your friends. So
100%. I'm just saying that's how you tell a team wins.
Fair enough.
And I remember watching when G4 TV was a thing. I think they had like an actual like competitive Left 4 Dead like league where it would be like teams of 4 would go play against each other, and you could watch them. Like it was wild watching like people who were quasi professional like Left 4 Dead players play the game, because they could play it in a completely different way than way that we would play it. Like just the way that they had all the special infected in just a perfect way. Like it was really wild to watch. Fun, super fun to watch.
Probably pretty similar to how we play. Well, we meaning you, professionally play the Age of Empires versus like somebody just casually playing Age of Empires.
That's pretty close, yeah. Pretty close, yeah. Someone playing professionally Age of Empires, because that's the thing. play it in a completely different way that me and you play it.
And here's the thing, like, we play it way different than somebody just casually, like, in high school, I would have played it.
Yeah.
I would have micro and macro managed everything so tightly. It would have been, all right, little sheepy, go explore, have fun over there. Oh, wolf! Ah!
Different game, but anyway. But yeah, Left 4 Dead, it's I think really where it comes, and we need to do that within Vermintide now that they released their version of the verses.
Yeah.
We need to do that for that game as well. But
I
yeah,
believe they
think
already have. So
yeah, we need to do it. We need to actually play it. Like we could have 2 people on 2, like 2 on 2 type thing.
I'll download it so we can play it on Tuesday or something. I think I deleted it because we haven't.
Well, I want to do that and Marvel's Rivals. I think that.
Oh yeah, I'll download that too.
I don't know if you can play that on Linux, but
it's got a gold rating on Proton DB, so it should be good.
Okay.
It's more of like, will my computer run it? So, and I know Scott also has Vermintide too, so we could
we could ask him.
we could all play that together. My schedule is way wonky right now, so I have no idea. We'll see.
Is your schedule ever going to be normal? I don't.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to have set schedules, but I'm just getting out of training, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead 2 just actually had an update today, which is wild.
Oh,
yeah.
What are the odds of that?
They're just like small patch notes.
Oh, okay.
Fixed exploits used to crash remote servers. That's all it was. Like they're still updating the game.
Yeah, I'm still keeping on top of it. That's the beauty of Valve, there, my friends.
Yeah.
So
like, fixed crashes for some NVIDIA graphics cards when traders were set to high. It's mostly just bug fixes at this point.
fair enough. Alrighty. Well, graphics. I mean, what was it? This isn't like most games that we talk about right now. It's an old game, and you can definitely tell. I remember when this game came out, it was scary. It was horrifying. If I was 10, I think I would still find this game relatively scary. This game is not scary in comparison to other games out there.
Especially once you put mods onto it, it's like completely different game. It feels like I can't play the original anymore without mods, just because I'm so used to the mods and like how it doesn't change any of the gameplay itself, but having the different type of visuals is just so much more fun. It makes the game feel way less serious.
Fair enough.
Like all of my infected zombies are Teletubbies.
Joe, what about you?
Repeat the question. Sorry, I was looking at mods for the game.
Graphics. What are your thoughts on the graphics?
It's all right. I mean, like, it's not like the other games where I'd say it's timeless, but I mean, they still look pretty fine. And honestly, with like the workshop, there are so many dedicated fans that you could overhaul the entire game and make it look spiffy and all sorts of nice and new, just from free mods. And honestly, I don't really know what the original game looks like anymore, just after all the constant mods I've been adding to it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think at one point all my mods got disabled, or for some reason, I don't know why. And I had to play it the normal way. And I was like, this is kind of boring.
Yeah, it's it's not like Half-Life 2. This game really does show its age. Half-Life 2 is like a 55-year-old man where you kind of think he's like in his 40s. This is like, you smoked. Like you're cracking a bit there.
You definitely the smoke or the boomer definitely gained weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So
it's still fun. I think the graphics wise is not the reason why. Like, yes, it would be a reason why you could look back just to see how things were like, but the gameplay itself is really where
Yeah.
it shines, and the story itself is super fun too. If you want to get into that,
Yeah, let's talk about the story really quickly. So, Joe, you have stated you haven't actually played through the game completely. Correct.
No, I've kind of more played with friends, and so it's more of less whatever they wanted to do. Because I didn't really have an appeal for this game in high school as much as I probably should have. Because it was the Wednesday night games. I don't want to get too
Mhm.
far ahead of everybody else. I was more into like Call of Duty in high school because my friends were into mainly Call of Duty Zombies, which is awesome. But I didn't really play it too much to actually get through all the story, which I know it has a really fun story, and I like the quips of all the characters, but I haven't really thrown myself into it.
yeah. I mean, the story itself, each individual mission is supposed to be a movie.
Mhm.
So as you play each individual, so like it's not so much a linear story, I guess you could say, but it does have a sense where each mission kind of connects to each other, and each movie kind of takes place as you play the game. And so you have like that's why when you beat a mission, that's why the credits kind of roll like a movie credit. And you kind of are basically just surviving a zombie apocalypse from the very beginning, where that's where Left 4 Dead kind of takes place, where the first one where it just happens and you're just like, all right, well, we're just trying to get free. And they're just random zombies attacking us. To the second one where we're like, okay, we're actually enduring the zombie apocalypse and we're just kind of trying to survive. Um, would you say that would be close to the story there, James?
Well, like Joe, I did not play through I've not been able to play through all of the campaigns, so I really don't know the story all that well. So sure, yeah, what you said there.
Yeah, I mean, to say that this game has a story, it's a very loose story where there's not really an actual I mean there is, like if you wanted to go into the weeds of finding what the actual story is, you can do that. But you pretty much there's no cutscenes or anything like that. It's very much the way you would know the story is listening to the dialogue of as you're actually like in the game killing zombies. So that's kind of the thing with the story is there's just not a ton of it, which is kind of what their intent was behind the game. That like their intent was not to create this huge, massive universe of random stuff that's going on and giving a reason why the zombies exist and why you're doing the thing that you're doing, why people are trying to attack you and all that, and why these zombies are all infected and stuff. It's like you're dropped in. Your goal is to finish this level. Go. So that's kind of the biggest thing with the story is there isn't really much of a story.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Any other last thoughts on this game at all? Unless you guys
No,
wanted, yeah.
I mean, it's a great game. I think we could talk a little bit more about the mods and just
Yeah.
how you can basically, if there has a texture in this game or if something moves, you can mod it. If you could pick
Even if it
something up,
doesn't move, you can still mod it, like the
you can
backgrounds.
mod it. Yeah. Like there's no limits whatsoever to the type of mods. And you have to be careful, listener. Like there is some naughty things. Um, but
As
like
with
the
all things in
soundtrack,
modding.
yeah,
Yeah,
with
but
all
there's
things in
some
modding.
very bad stuff. And also, like, I feel like whenever I log on, there's always like the weird servers.
Yeah. There are weird servers, but we're not going to actually address that because I don't think
Right.
that's productive. But the mods in this game really add to the like you can make this game anything that you want it to be. Um and there's so many cool like we were trying for the longest time to do a Minas Tirith map that we just could not beat for the life of us. Um from Lord of the Rings. Like you can do that. Like there's just like there's escape maps that you can do that really add to it. So if you've played through the original campaigns, you can get custom campaigns, and those just a whole different worm, a whole different animal of just things that you can do. You can play a Super Mario map and like just do random stuff like that, and like change all the skins of your weapons, change we've talked about this, all the infected, to make them look like random oddball characters like the DK, all that, and like make all the zombies look like Teletubbies, and just it's just really cool. It's just a ton of things that you can do with this game that allows you to keep playing it and to keep it experiencing and keeping it fresh, even though it is. You say, was it 2009 this came out? This would be 16-year-old game at the time of recording.
2009, 2025. Yeah, 16.
Yeah. So even if it is old, it's still a great game. But I wouldn't quite give it classic title like we would Half-Life 2. It still has a little bit of warts. Great talk, guys.
Yeah, talking. Man, I'm like fighting off sleep, but whatever.
Wake up!
I
Wake up!
need more coffee. So, cool. All right, Joe, any thoughts?
Mods are great. Play the game with friends. Only mod the game. Like, only play it modded. That's the only way to do it. If you ever feel bored of the game, shake up your mods. It'll change the way you see the game.
Yeah.
Every time.
Literally.
Yeah.
It really will. It makes you laugh. Like you never realize how funny it is until freaking SpongeBob SquarePants jumps on top of you, or Michael Jackson going, hey! Just like as a hunter, just like jumping on top of you and going, jump!
I
Like,
also
it's just-
like stepping away for we play this game, I'd say maybe 4 times, 5 times a year. So downloading all those mods, stepping away from it, and then coming back and being like, what
did I do? Why
how
was
many
I doing-
downloads is this?
What did I do? What is this abomination?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Also, I guess
go ahead.
on weapons real quick, melee weapons. Connor, did you ever use the melee weapons?
All the time.
I never used melee.
No, yeah.
All the time.
All only guns.
Yeah,
Only
like
guns.
the melee weapons are actually viable in this game. Like you can go through an entire mission just using melee, because especially it's good for AoE. It's good for general like infected. Not good against specials. But a big part of it, yeah, is the melee weapons in this game are actually viable.
I guess I never tried it, so I'll have to try it again.
That's because I'm always the one running ahead and slashing and dashing, and then I let everybody else take care of the specials.
Also, I like this. The top recommended for me for this game. Guy's got 9.8 hours on record. He's a positive review, and his review is Coach is bald.
That is very true. Coach is bald.
True statement. 9 hours on record, gives it positive. I'll buy the game. I'd stick by that.
That's enough motivation. Oh, we could go for hours looking at reviews in this game.
Oh,
We haven't looked at reviews at all yet on any games.
Speaking of which, Scott's on.
Playing Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
So. Alrighty. Well, yeah, I guess my final thoughts for this is this game is once again up on all of those lists of must games that you have to try.
Goes on sale for pretty cheap too.
Yeah. And I mean, in gaming history, I don't know if this will go down completely, but it definitely, I think, will have a blurb and, starting a new sub-genre of games when it comes to first-person shooters, and that is that co-op. So,
especially if you're looking at like Gabe Newell's history, because Valve doesn't have a very big list of games that they've produced themselves. So, if you're looking at that, you'll definitely see this game on that list.
Right, and this game also was a big pivoter, like in creating Steam, right? Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
Half-Life 2, Left 4 Dead, like we wouldn't have Steam to this day if it weren't for these games that really created these IPs that you had to download Steam for. And then they started adding other games and you really started getting into more of the other games. So like we wouldn't have Steam if this game didn't have a massive cult following like it did. So
Yeah.
hi Clara.
Connor says hi.
All right. And then I guess let's dive into more. I mean, that's kind of our subjective ratings, right? Of play
Kinda.
this game.
Kinda.
Perfect.
Could be your subjective ratings, not my subjective rating.
You don't want people to play this game?
I mean, that's not how I would give my rating. I'd give it
Huh.
a different way. Let's go moral rating first.
Okay, let's do more ratings. Joe, what do you think? A through O. A1 through O.
Remind me, what's the one right after O or right before O?
L.
Oh.
Limited audience. It's like
I'd probably go.
it's notable enough, but maybe not every adult who plays video games should play this game.
Yeah, I'd probably give it an L then, just because without all the mods, it's still zombies, it's still graphic. They swear. The witch is half naked. Well, actually, I think she is almost all naked.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Didn't even notice.
It's it's pretty gruesome. Like the spitter, she's pregnant or was pregnant, I think.
There's
Not
a dude, I think.
that are a dude. Anyways,
No, Speeder's a female.
Yeah, I don't think she's
So-
pregnant. I think she's just stomach is full of
Acid.
Bacid. But yeah, I'd give it an L. And then especially with the modding community, if you're a little kid and you accidentally find the workshop, that's not great.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of why I would give it an L as well. Just because
People are gross.
you can't just let your kid or anyone just go into it without any expectation because the internet exists and I wouldn't be able to do that. It's like I wouldn't give it an A3 because if there wasn't the actual mod, I would give it an A3 because it's just the game itself is mostly just violence and swearing and stuff, and I kind of give it in that A3 category. But because the workshop does exist, you very limits your morality wise, just because there's just so much things out there now that you just have to be careful and you have to limit yourself and how you can expose to the game. Just because there's a lot of things. There's yeah, I'd give it an L.
Fair enough. And yeah, no, I was going into this thinking L as well. So it sounds like we're all on the same page there. I essentially have already given my subjective rating. So Connor, I'm itching to hear what you're gonna say.
I would give it 5 Spittergoos out of 7. Just because
Anything to add to that,
I've had this game. There's a lot of glitches and crashing that happens in this game a lot, which is kind of a deal breaker for me for a lot of games. And it just does have a glitchy, like it's not super intuitive 90% of the time to figure out where you're going, like, and you can die pretty quickly. There's a lot of little random stuff that kind of are just like, why is this still like this? Like just because it is old, there's just a lot of random stuff. You're like, this just hasn't aged as gracefully as I would have liked it. It's still a ton of fun. I would still play it a lot, but it's not like one of my best favorite games.
Fair enough. Joe?
all right. So just the base game, I'd probably give that nowadays a 5 out of 10. Like if you don't have friends, definitely a 2 out of 10. But if you've got friends to play, 5 out of 10. It's good, wholesome fun. Now, with mods, it becomes a 9 out of 10. It always gives me a good belly chuckle. It's always fun. You can always shake it up if you're getting bored. And I think for that alone, that's why it becomes a 9 for me, is just because you can create all that fun with some friends. And at the end of the day, what's a game for but just to have fun? And that's ultimately what you get from Left 4 Dead 2 with mods, is fun.
100%. 100%.
Alrighty. Any other thoughts or things you would like to throw in there?
No, I think we kind of covered a lot of it, to be honest with you.
This probably is a mod, but something that I wish the game would add is allow me to have multiple mods without overwriting certain textures. Like there are so many fun mods out there. I would absolutely love to have like 5 different tanks instead of just all of them being Shrek. If I could have one being Shrek and one being John Cena and one being
Give it some RNG type thing where you randomly get a different type of special.
oh, that would be so awesome. Or like you get random sounds too, and so instead of like, oh, um, throw and puke, if I had like 7 different sounds, maybe they'll say something else. Which who knows? There's
Actually,
probably a mod for that.
what would be hilarious is John Cena as the jockey, and as he like gets on top of you, it's the music. Dun, 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 dun.
Probably exists. It's a good game.
I bet it does.
It's also because he's invisible. You can't see
You
him.
can't see me. There's so many. Well, one of my favorites is Hunter is Hank Hill from yelling at you. You want propane and propane accessories? He's ripping your guts out.
I like the boomers, Patrick, just running up to you. Ladle.
Just explodes.
Whoa!
Oh wait, Joe, you wanted to talk about something. Well-
The thing that I told Connor about?
Yeah. Did
Nintendo
you want to talk?
Switch 2.
Yeah.
El Switcho Doso. I think
Too
it's a hot
switch,
pile of
too
garbage.
furious. Too
Pile of
switch, too
garbage.
furious.
Pile of garbage.
Excuse me. Oh boy.
And we'll see how it actually like handles specs wise. I'm hoping for a lot, but I'll outline very concisely if I can my reasons for why it's a hot pile of garbage. So, first off, design wise, it looks cool. I do like its more slicker design. I do like that the stand actually goes across the entire bottom and goes down farther. That's nice. However, all the garbage. Most people's complaints is that to hook up the Joy-Cons, it's basically just magnets and it inserts into a port. The problem is that's going to snap off super easy. At least, I haven't held one. I don't know how sturdy it will be, but it doesn't seem like a great design. I also do not like their launch game. I know Mario Kart is a classic. They've got what, 8, and now that's the 9th one being announced. But here's the thing. If you want to show off the specs of your console, your launch title should be something impressive. Think about the N64. Mario 64 was the launch title. That was revolutionary. Mario is now in the 3D. The Wii, or well, let's go Wii. You had Wii Sports was kind of the big thing. It was revolutionary. What kid doesn't remember growing up with Wii Sports? And then later on with the Switch, the first one, Breath of the Wild. It already came out for the Wii U, but it was laggy. The specs couldn't handle it. And the Switch, it could handle it. And you can take it anywhere you want to. That is good marketing. Mario Kart? No. It's been released time and time again. It doesn't even look that great. You can't show amazing specs on your Switch 2 for that. There are more reasons to dislike it, but for me, that's the biggest dookie pile is their launch title isn't something impressive, so I am not impressed.
So I don't think it is actually the launch of. I think it was just an announcement. I don't think it actually is. I think they just showed one game in the trailer, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I don't think that's. I don't know if that's their claim to fame that it's going to be a launch title. I mean, it probably is. I mean, how long has Mario Kart 8 been around?
Too long. They have way too many DLCs. That's the thing. Oh, I guess that'd be another point is after almost a whole decade, what they released, I was expecting something fantastic like VR kind of console or something else that actually would wow the public. Because Nintendo's always been known for crazy wild updates where it's N64, what a weird controller, but it works. The Wii U, motion controls, which is revolutionary for the time. The Wii U, you can take a console a little further away from the actual game itself, but you can play another screen. That's cool. And then the Switch, you have a whole console, and you can go other places, like a whole console worth of games. Switch 2, same thing as a Switch.
So I mean, I would consider it like just no different than from when the Wii went to the Wii U. You know, like they didn't really do anything hardware wise, difference wise between the Wii and the Wii U. They literally just took the Wii and put it in the Wii U.
I agree, but I think having a second console, or not console, but like a second screen, I think that was kind of a launching point for the Switch. It was going from one to the other. So
Fair
the
enough.
Wii U walked where the Switch could run.
So what you're telling me is normal controllers these days have 2 little nubbins that you hold down to. The N64 had 3 nubbins. You want 4 nubbins. That's what you wanted. That was the revolutionary thing that they should have done.
What I want is something revolutionary, because that's what I come to expect from Nintendo. And Nintendo's been outrageously lazy. Not just recently, I'd say for the last 10 years, Nintendo has not been innovative.
4 nubbins is revolutionary. You've never seen it before. It's something different. Don't tell me it's not. It's like Bop It style, where you have different things that you have a spin it, a pull it, a different things. They could have did that kind of controller. That would have been wild.
Imagine that for like an escape room kind of video game.
Exactly. Yeah, I look forward to when they actually announce games and actually announce like what things are gonna happen. I think it was just more of a hey, quit talking about speculation. We're doing it type.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, with all the speculation people are making. I mean, like after 10 years, can you blame people?
Yeah. I mean, the Switch was underpowered when it was released.
It was a hot toaster. Now it's just a hot dumpster fire.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Think it can actually play the games that are cutting edge? Think I can actually play Scarlet and Violet and not have the console heat up and it glitch out?
No.
No.
Well, maybe Harley. Well, here's the problem, right? Scarlet and what was it? Scarlet and
Violet.
Violet. Those are old games now. So, like, what about the next Pokemon? It's not. Can it play that? Can it play the next Pokemon game? That's what you want it to have to do.
The next Pokemon game is going to be Pokemon V or Legends Zendikar. Anyways, it's gonna be like a Legends Arceus kind of game. So that's gonna launch with the Wii U 2, or sorry, the Switch 2. Oh, that's gonna suck.
The Wii U 2.
The Wii U 2, Electric Boogaloo, all the same thing.
That's what they should.
It's very nice, Connor. By the way, it's very nice.
My little Skarmory I printed.
Yeah. By the way, what are you currently printing? I see it going back there.
I am currently printing a Delicandescent holder for my it's called an AMS. So I have added something for my 3D printer. It can put 4 spools on top of it, and you can switch out colors in between it. That's how I'm able to do this little Skarmory with the red wings and the silver and the dark and the yellow eyes. Like it allows me to automatically switch out different filaments in different colors. So I'm printing something for my AMS. So filament itself has to stay dry. And the actual way that they keep things dry in the AMS is kind of dookie. So I'm printing something to put it in there to make it hold more delicadescent to stay drier faster, longer.
Alrighty. Well, I guess, yeah, with all of that, thank you guys for taking some time out of your evening to hop on this podcast and provide your thoughts. And thank you, listener, for listening to this podcast. If you like this podcast, please leave a review, follow, let other people know that we're out here. If you would like to contact us, you can always leave a comment on Spotify, or you can also email us at catholicgamerspod@gmail.com. Connor does stream on Tuesdays, so you can always go to twitch.tv/fatalcondor on Tuesdays, usually at about 7:30 p.m. Central Time till about 9 p.m. Central Time. And we're hanging out there playing some games, having a good time. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you for listening, and God bless.
Bye, have a great
everybody.
time.
Stay safe. Stay warm.
Yeah. especially in Bismarck.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like -20 this weekend.